This year, we are all looking for the perfect holiday gift, and today, we want to tell you about the Gallery. The Gallery Shop is a curated collection of photographs from around the world. All prints are made from 100% recycled aluminum, giving your wall that gallery finish.
Right now, for the holiday season, the Gallery is exclusively offering our listeners 25% of your next purchase using the code FRIDAY. That's 25% off your next purchase at thegallery.com. That's the GALRY using the code FRIDAY. The Gallery. Create your perfect space.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 249. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG4Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rutino, and this is my co-host, Dan. It's just about Christmas time, Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Well, as your nickname would state, we are about a week away from Christmas right now. A little less than a week away from Christmas. I don't know if you have any special holiday plans coming up.
I'm gonna stay my ass home. That's pretty much what I got planned.
There you go.
That's what I'm going to do.
This episode's going to get the explicit rating, and Dan's going to be staying in.
I got nothing. Yeah. I got nothing going on. I got to be honest. I'm a little burnt out from games, and I'm a little disappointed I didn't get the game I wanted to play. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm disappointed I didn't get the PS5 or the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are disappointed because they haven't got an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. But
I'm really disappointed that GameStop still hasn't shipped my copy of Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I bought it over 2 weeks ago.
Damn. Well, if it's any consolation, my Square Enix games still haven't arrived, so I have to figure out what's going on with that. I hope they didn't try and deliver it and then got it sent back, but I never got like a slip about it.
So I got nothing. I really don't. This Christmas is going to be really low key, as I'm sure. Thanksgiving was pretty low key. Mm-hmm. Labor Day was low key. Every other holiday since St. Patrick's Day has been low key.
Yeah, seriously, right? Okay, yeah.
What about you?
I'm going to be going home to see the family because they're insisting on it. So my dad's going to come in and pick me up. So I don't have to come in contact with a ton of people, which is smart because they're old, and I don't want to get them infected in case I have it. So far, so good, knock on wood. But you never know. So I'm going to go home for a couple of days, come back, and then, I'm going to bring my Xbox with me so I can play some games because they have decent internet and a really nice TV. So I'm going to do that.
Is there any game that you're like planning to play over the break that you haven't played yet that you're just dying to crack open?
I think I've started all the games. I just need to complete all of the games. So Ghost of Tsushima, I got to finish. My Final Fantasy IX run, I got to finish. Hell, even like Control from last year, I got to finish. There's a lot of games that are like Far Cry 5. I still got to put more time into that.
Oh, I can beat that. I can beat you. I still got to finish Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god, you're never gonna beat it. You're never gonna beat it at this point. All you got to do is go to Hyrule Castle. You're pretty much done, Dan.
I know, but I have too much fun just going around the world. They made it too open.
Okay, I agree. But when was the last time you played that game? Thank you.
When was the last presidential race?
No, it's impossible. No, the last presidential race just happened. That's not fair.
All right,
you did not play it in November.
All right,
and you couldn't have played it before that because that was 2016. It was before the console came out.
All right, I don't remember.
See, exactly. Yeah, so you're never gonna explore it anymore. You should just beat it.
All right, maybe I'll pop it in.
It's a good ending. It's a good ending.
Maybe I'll pop it in.
Especially since Breath of the Wild 2 is
right around the corner, possibly, maybe.
So we'll see.
All right, look, we have a great show this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to talk about the Cyberpunk 2077 debacle. We're going to talk about Nintendo's Indie World Showcase. But I want to begin with something that I'm going to shock you. Okay, I'm going to shock you.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong.
Mark it,
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Mark down the time code. This is a monumentous occasion. Oh my God. What could you have possibly been wrong about?
I thought the Monster Hunter movie would be better.
Oh my God.
I didn't think it would be. Listen, I didn't think it was going to win an Oscar or anything. I just thought it would be a okay movie. I thought it would get like 6, 7, or 8s.
Wait. You said you thought it would be an okay movie. How bad did the Monster Hunter movie do?
IGN gave it a 3. You know how bad of a movie you got to be to get a 3?
Mm-hmm. And IGN is not like Siskel and Ebert, right? They understand a little bit of popcorn is good for your movie, right? Wow, they gave it a 3. Well, that's not... I'm surprised and also not surprised because the pedigree of the director and the main actress, Mila Jovovich, is very rocky, right? They have done all of the Resident Evil movies. And they're okay.
No. The first one was great.
First one was pretty good. Yeah,
I put that up there as far as top 5
video game movies.
Video game movies. It didn't make my top 3, but I would say it's either 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
2 was okay. I like 2. 2 was okay. It was okay. I would 7.
No.
7. Come on, 7.
2 was a 5, and I'm being generous.
2 was not a 5. 2 was a 7.
Ridiculous.
That's what made it a 7.
And it had terrible acting.
It didn't have terrible acting.
Yeah, and they combined the storylines of 2 and 3. Ugh.
2 didn't have a... 2, listen.
And Nemesis has a heart at the end of the movie? Get out of here.
Well, okay, maybe the ending didn't go as planned, but overall, if you take out the ending, it was about a 7. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was okay.
It was okay. You have to rate the movie on the movie, right? If it is not satisfying at the end of the movie, then I don't know.
Listen, it was okay. All right. Now,
all right, fine.
3, 4,
mm-hmm.
5, 6. They're just all terrible. They're just bad.
Yeah,
it was bad. Even though 3, they tried to do something different.
Yeah, well, we saw that in the theaters. I remember way back when. Yeah.
One in the desert. Zombies in a desert at not. It took away from Resident Evil because Resident Evil usually is survival horror and that's at night. They wanted to do it in the day, right?
Yeah.
So I thought 4 was better. I would say if I had to rank them, 1, 4, and 3. No, 1, 4, and 2. Those are the best out of the 6 movies.
Mm-hmm.
5, 6, and 3 sucked. Oh, they were just terrible.
I didn't see anything past 3. I kind of stopped. I didn't see Afterlife or Armageddon or whatever the other ones are named. Who knows?
Who knows? They were just terrible movies. And the ending, the ending.
Fair enough.
Oh my God, the ending to the series 6 was just terrible. But
well, now it's kind of ripe for a reboot. Someone else has to pick the mantle up because the story is good, right? An evil biological corporation goes and creates this virus and ends up infecting people and turning them into zombies. And you gotta, the local police department has to go investigate.
But all right, so Monster Hunter movie. It's getting panned and it's got terrible reviews everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird, right? I mean, Monster Hunter, and like they have tanks and guns, and they get sucked up. Her whole team gets sucked up in some type of storm that leads them into a different dimension with monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would have been better if it would have just been her, right? Like if she would have got sucked up in a storm and she was by herself, and it's like, oh my god, how am I gonna get out of here? How am I gonna get back home?
Yeah, do the whole stranger in a strange land thing, right? And like,
yeah,
she would be less comfortable, have to kind of acclimate herself. Sure, I could kind of buy something like that, as opposed to just a movie that's just in that world, right? There's a giant monster, and the townsfolk have to band together. Like, that's what I thought this movie was going to be in some way, but they didn't do that.
You thought it was going to be Pacific Rim? We already have a movie like that.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's excited because it's like, oh, it's all the famous things from your video game, right? You're going to see the giant Rathalos and the big bone clubs and the whatever, and that's what you want to see. You want a realistic story, a believable story, I should say, wrapped up in it.
Well, I don't know. I will say they did say that they got the monsters right. Like the monsters are like accurate to video games, so they get kudos for attention to detail in that instance. But I was hoping this movie would be score a little bit better. But I think the biggest surprise is I didn't even know it was coming out this week.
Yeah, I thought it was delayed
next year. I thought it was next year. And it came out. Like why? I mean, this is the worst time. I mean, no one's going to the movies as it is, let alone no one's going to the movies to see Monster Hunter.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Unless it's like the next coming of The Godfather, like no, nobody's going out.
Which is actually getting a theatrical release, by the way. Like a new, I think they have like a new Godfather, like a new cut from the director's cut.
Oh yeah, no, they have a new cut because 3. And I've still never seen 3, but 3 was, everyone said why. Because the movie was part 1 and part 2 were the book. It was a very long book, and they both go together. They're necessary, right? And it tells a complete story of the Corleone family. Part 3? No. I try to get out, they pull me back in? No. And who's his name's daughter? Sofia Coppola? It's just not good. So
I never seen 3, so I'm assuming he dies in the movie. Spoilers for like a movie that's like 30 years old.
You would assume, yeah.
I think he dies in a movie because I think I saw the commercials about the director's cut. It's like see Corleone die, like the death of Corleone, right? So
I mean, he could be put in jail. Who knows? But yeah, I think you're probably right. He probably goes down.
He dies. No, he dies. He pretty much. That's the third movie. He dies.
It's a matter of how. We don't know.
All right, let's bring this back into video games, not the movie podcast.
Right.
Something I probably will maybe check out over the Christmas break. Nintendo has expanded their Switch Online with new games. New games for the SNES and a game for the NES. I heard of Nightshade for the NES, but I've never played it. I have no idea what type of game that is. They got Tough Enough, which is like a
straight up beat 'em up, yeah. Or that's a tournament fighter, right? Yeah, Tough Enough.
Yeah, the Ignition Factor. I have no idea what game that is. Honestly, the only game that's really notable on this list is Donkey Kong Country 3, which, by the way, is people say is the worst Donkey Kong Country game out of the trilogy, the original trilogy.
2 is the best. It's 2, then 1, then 3. And not to say that it's like terrible. It's still a fine game, but some of the things just kind of rub me the wrong way. Like Kiddy Kong, wasn't a fan, and the art style changed like a little bit on some of the like rendering. But it's still a fun game. Like it's still good. It's still worth playing.
Okay. I want to check it out. I never played it. I never seen Godfather 3, and I never played Donkey Kong Country 3. There you go. There's the correlation. Got to wrap it all together. So Dave, we always try to start the show, but epically fail. What have you been playing?
Oh, well, I have been putting my PC and my Series X through the paces for sure. So Gears 5 on the Series X, they just dropped some new DLC, which is kind of cool. The new the Hive Buster DLC. So I've been kind of working through that, which is kind of cool. The Final Fantasy IX, which I think I mentioned last week, I'm still playing that.
But you're still playing Gears though. Like that's wow. I didn't even think you still haven't beaten a story yet, or are you playing multiplayer?
No. It's all the multiplayer and then whatever the new DLC is. But the DLC is like kind of single player or cooperative content, right? As well as new multiplayer maps and like whatever else. So there is a new single player style component to that. But yeah, no.
Are you playing as the New Day?
Playing as the New Day. I am not playing as the New Day yet.
Okay. Is you playing as Dave Bautista? Because he's the DLC character.
I've been playing as Batista. I've been playing as my guy right now is Mac, the Irish dude, who is not one of the big brolic dudes. He's more like regular sized. So I
don't know how that works in Gears. How does that work in Gears?
I know exactly. He sticks out like a sore thumb. He's also got flaming red hair too because he's Irish. So
okay,
he kind of sticks out a little bit. But yeah.
Well, you'd be proud. You'd be proud. I got back into Super Mario Brothers 35. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And I got all the way up to number 2.
Hey.
Got all the way up to number 2.
See, there you go. It's all about the competitive spirit.
Well, I was playing with me and this other person. It was just neck and neck for like a straight 10 to 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like that person's not dying, I'm not dying, and I made one mistake. So, and it was at like 2 a.m. as well. Mm-hmm. It was like 2 a.m.
Hot damn. The late night win.
I didn't beat that, but I did beat Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. I beat that the other day.
Nice. Did you do the completionist style beating it, or did you just beat the story mode?
Hell no.
Apparently a ton of stuff in that game.
Listen, at the end, I won't give you context, but there's like a little companion buddy robotic machine that breaks into 50 pieces. And if you collect all 50 pieces, which is 50 different modes, you go out throughout the map, you get the secret ending.
Oh. Is that the true ending or just like a little bonus?
No, it's a bonus. It goes on top of the regular ending.
Interesting.
The regular ending is satisfying enough for me. I Googled the secret ending and I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't worth going.
There you go. That's all you got to do. Somebody's gone through the work.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I will say this. The ending totally confused me. I had to go back and watch Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity ending explained because I had no idea what was going on. Not what I expected. I won't spoil it for you, but I will say Zelda and their damn timelines. Zelda and their damn timelines.
Weaving around on you?
Oh my God. It weaves, it bobs and weaves. It goes all around. So.
Oh my God.
It was driving me crazy. I was like, well, what? This is not what I was expecting. And there's certain things in the beginning that I missed.
Yeah.
That would give you context for why it ended the way it did. So
right.
I was like, oh, that makes sense now. I guess I didn't really pay attention when I first put the game on. So, but we've both been playing, and let's just jump into this. We've both been playing Cyberpunk.
Yes,
You've been playing on PC.
That's right.
I've been playing on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And I know you told me about 2 weeks ago or last week how you liked it so far.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, you had some issues, but your issues weren't as bad as people playing on console.
It's okay. It crashes every now and again, but it's mostly fine.
I'm going to tell you, I'm playing on the PS4 Pro. It looks like a Switch game.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't look as great. I was like, oh, this game is not that great. This game don't look great. But you know what? I don't play games for the visuals. Okay? Because if that's the case, I would have beat Death Stranding, which is the best looking game I've ever seen.
Well, the visuals certainly don't hurt, if you have some nice visuals.
But I will say, I definitely encountered lots of bugs. It's crashed on me every time I completed a mission and tried to start a new mission. It's crashed. And I got to tell you, I'm tired of restarting the little intro into a mission. Going to that stupid bar 3 or 4 times, it keeps crashing.
I had to do that once or twice too. Yeah, I understand.
Seeing what was the name of the companion character? That's what you.
The Spanish guy.
Yeah.
I want to say Miguel. I don't think it was Miguel.
Is that, well, he keeps, walking through me and walking through walls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay. All right. That's fine. I can live with that. I can live with that.
Well,
I can live with that. It was one time. Early in the game when you have to get the bionic implant. I won't tell you what it was. I mean, it's first 10, 15 minutes of the game, so it's not that much of a spoiler. You had to go we'll call him Miguel for the purposes of the conversation.
Right.
We know his name is not Miguel. I had to go find Miguel. I couldn't find him anywhere. It took me 10, 15 minutes of going around the world because I couldn't find him. I called him. He's not answering his phone. I had no idea what was going on. So I went back and watched a walkthrough. And we're talking about the beginning of the damn game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, yeah, Miguel was supposed to be right. Like, he was supposed to be waiting for you upstairs.
Right. Oh, Jackie.
He wasn't.
Jackie.
He wasn't waiting for me upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
He disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to restart the level.
Jesus.
I had to restart my save.
Right.
Get the implant. I had to do that I do everything all over again. It was just
Right.
It was a mess. And
right.
I am done until they patch this game.
Oh, well, I mean, they have a patch that came out yesterday. I don't know if you got
but is that going to be a big fix? They said the big fix is
it's 18 gigs.
Well,
that's pretty big.
Well,
that's pretty big.
Well, let's see what the patches are in January and February, because they said they're going to have huge patches to fix the game in January and February, which further infuriates me, because if that's the case, then you should have just held on to the game until March.
I know. I think unanimously everybody's saying you should have waited, or done what they did with The Witcher 3, which was put the PC version out and then put the console version out a few months later, right?
Yeah.
Kind of work on it a little more, massage it, make it even playable on the OG Xbox and the PS4. But
Listen, it's like beating a dead horse, just saying what everybody's saying. And this is the thing that makes this situation unique from any other situation that's happened. How is it not playable on the PS4 and Xbox One? Because they were made for these systems.
Well, no. It was made for the PC, and they said we'll also put it out on these systems. They got very ambitious with it. And then I think
That's fine. PCs in 2012 couldn't run this, okay? So they had to know.
Well,
this is when this game was announced.
You're building with the current hardware involved, right? And I think they got wide-eyed when they're like, "Oh, there's a Pro model and there's a Series S or X or 1X out, and then there's the next gen stuff, the PS5 and the Series
Don't worry
X,
about the next gen. Don't worry about the next gen stuff.
Well, that's what they did, though. This is what I'm thinking internally, is they're like, we're going to push this to the limit. It's going to be great, and it kind of blew up in their face.
Then this is what you do. You say, I knew this is what's not going to happen. You say, all right, we're going to refund everybody's money who bought it for the PS4 and Xbox One, because this is now a PS5 and Xbox Series X game only.
Well, it's funny you say that, because CD Projekt Red has been saying we will refund your game for you. So if you complain and say, "Hey, look, I wanna return my game," you have some method of recourse, right?
You have a week, right? Like, I think you have until a little after Christmas, maybe 28th.
Right. Yeah.
To do that,
yeah.
But Sony, listen, to everyone's credit, before we did when we were talking about doing a show earlier in the week, Sony wasn't giving refunds. They said, "Hey, you played 2 minutes of this game, sucks for you, it's yours."
Yeah.
Even though they've 1,000% made exceptions to that, and
of course,
when I first bought the PS4, I told you I had Assassin's Creed Black Flag digitally for the PS4, and it was broken. So they gave me a refund on that game, and I played the heck out of it. I got into when I got to the boat missions, which is maybe 3 hours in. Yeah. 2 to 3 hours in.
Yeah.
I couldn't get past it. And I even had the people on the phone. And I said, "Listen, it's not working. Look, go into my PS4. Look, it's not working. Something's wrong. It's just not working. It won't let me pass." And they gave me a full refund.
Wow.
So
nice.
Sony now is giving full refunds, and they've delisted Cyberpunk so you can't buy it digitally anyway.
Yeah. So
and just real quick, as of this morning when we started recording, Xbox has started giving refunds as well.
Right. So the Sony taking it down from the store is 100%. It's I think the right move, but I also think it's a temporary move. You know, they're not gonna. It's not that bad. It just needs a couple of patches, a little bit of love.
It's that bad. I'm sorry. Have you seen some of these screenshots and videos out there?
Yeah, they're from the OG. They're from the OG consoles. Have you seen anything that bad?
Unless you have a PS5, it's not worth playing.
No,
it's bad. It's just bad.
Well, I
from
think
a PlayStation standpoint, unless you have a PS5, it's just bad.
Right. I think it's.
I have
think
a
it's
Pro, and it's not as bad as the OG PS4.
Right.
But it has its own set of issues.
Right.
Again, textures and the frame rate, people walking through walls.
Yeah.
People disappearing. I gotta keep restarting the level.
Well, I guess there's two different things. One is kind of the visual performance aspect, those bugs, and then there's the legit gameplay bugs, which
listen, I called the car, correct? Because you have a car, a vehicle. I called it, and it's supposed to automatically just come to you. Mm-hmm. My car got into a car accident, coming to me. How is that even possible? How is that possible? It ran into the pole.
It wanted to do its own thing. It said, "Nah, I'm going left.
My car ran into the pole.
Oh my god!
It was half destroyed. I was sitting here riding around in a clunker to the next mission.
Mm-hmm. So we've seen games be pulled down before for various reasons, right?
Yeah.
Have we seen a game pulled down for performance and gameplay bugs like this? Like usually I think it's there's some sort of legal situation going on, or it's got some sort of content that people are upset about. I don't think any of that's going on here.
I think this is a first. This is sort of a first. I can't remember.
It kind of feels like it. Like even if it's a bad game, you still have the review system to back it up, and it'll show it's a 1-star or a 2-star game. And I've seen Sony and Microsoft keep those things up in their store. I've seen them up in the Steam store. They don't get taken down. So, yeah, I wonder if Microsoft's going to do the same thing.
I don't think Microsoft is going to delist it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're definitely giving refunds to people who are buying it, and it's probably not going to be listed on their digitally on their storefront. It's probably not going to have a big. You gotta
kind of dig for it.
You're gonna have to find it. They're gonna bury it. They're gonna just bury it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely pretty terrible. CD Projekt Red is now just trying to play damage control. They've put out tons of letters on that yellow background with black text, and they've said, "Hey, we're committed to this game and we're sorry," and that's about what every letter is,
They've squandered so much goodwill with the gaming community, right?
Yeah.
They've built up so much goodwill just to squander it in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Now, when they initially delayed it, it was 3.5 weeks, right? Until from November to December.
Sure. Yeah.
They said they need because it's not working well on all platforms.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And the reports were it wasn't working really at all on the OG Xbox One, the beta machine, as I call it. 3 weeks to fix that? Really? It only 3 weeks, right? We should have known. It would take more than delaying it 3 weeks, maybe 3 months to really fix that.
Well, I want to know. I want to know what the build from April was like. Right? Because they were all like, "Yeah, it's coming out mid-April, and it's going to be great." And then they're like, "No."
Oh yeah, that's right. It was supposed to be in April. I forgot about that. Wow.
Which is just insane.
Which in that case, nobody would have had a good build because everybody would have been playing it either on PC or on consoles regardless, right? Because people who aren't really complaining as much of people who have a Series X or a PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
So not a good look.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
There's another kind of wrinkle to all of this, right? So CD Projekt is the parent company, right? CD Projekt owns GOG, Good Old Games. CD Projekt Red is the developer of Cyberpunk 2077. But there was this game Devotion. I don't know if you heard about it, but it was a Taiwanese kind of puzzle horror game, I think. And it was originally on Steam, and it got taken down from Steam because there was references to Winnie the Pooh and Xi Jinping, I think, which is like a whole big thing. Yeah, which is a whole big thing. And it got taken down from the store because it was like too politically tinged or whatever, which is just kind of bullshit. I think it was just Valve kind of kowtowing to the Chinese market and not wanting to make waves. So then the game comes back on GOG, and then GOG takes it down again. And apparently the stuff in the game got taken out, right? All the like political stuff got taken out of the game. So just kind of like bad news all around. They're getting all sorts of bad publicity on this.
But here's the thing. I know right now we're killing them, and they deserve it. But if they put out these patches and it's amazing, and they put out some free DLC later on, No Man's Sky has proven that you can gain that trust back.
Right.
And this isn't a No Man's Sky type of game. This is Cyberpunk. This is like Grand Theft Auto in the future.
Yeah. So
it's
big, and it has big potential.
Yeah. So 6 months from now, we could be saying, you know what, Cyberpunk is going to be in running for Game of the Year in 2021. To make up for it, and it will be the first game since the Order 1886 to be nominated. You never know. We got to do our nominees next week. You never know.
That's right.
It could be nominated twice.
You guys got to stay tuned for that. And I did make the proclamation back in like September or October. This is gonna be Game of the Year material. It's gonna be nominated, and it may even be Game of the Year. I did say that, but you'll have to tune in next week to see if that prophecy came true.
All right. So with that said, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week.
Hey, this is Matt Adler, freelance journalist for IGN, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers podcast.
And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. And let's talk about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase. Now, we weren't going to get Breath of the Wild 2, but we did get Spelunky 2 for the Switch.
1 and 2, yeah.
1 and 2. It's coming to the Switch. Now, this is pretty cool because 2 was like exclusive to the PS4. It only came out on PS4 when it came out.
Right.
So it's now coming to the Switch. I wonder if it's coming to Xbox too now. Right?
I don't see why it wouldn't.
I know, but I haven't checked. Usually when like Microsoft does like an Xbox event, or if like Sony does a PlayStation event and they showcase like third-party games, the other one would have the trailer on their YouTube channel saying, yeah, it's coming to us too, right?
Oh yeah. It's just probably
coming
not
to the
announced
Xbox
yet.
too.
Probably not announced yet,
Yeah.
but I don't see why it wouldn't come to Xbox, and probably even maybe Xbox Game Pass. Right? That'd be a good add-in. Yeah.
100%. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the
that?
physical edition. I'm waiting for the physical edition for Spelunky 2. Just like I'm waiting for this physical edition for Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2.
Right. You have the right. Yeah, you have the physical of the first one, right?
I have it for the Vita. Came out for the Vita.
No. Spelunky.
Yes, I have it for the Vita as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I have the special edition.
Yeah, with the giant like golden idol. Yeah.
I have
That's badass.
So I have
That's badass.
So I have that. So and I'm waiting for Limited Run just announced that Panzer Paladin's getting a physical release.
Nice.
So
nice.
As of this, when this comes out, it went on sale yesterday. So if you listen to this when this comes out, it went on sale yesterday or Monday. So I'm definitely picking that up. I actually made a list. I made a list of all the games that I got from Limited Run. I'm still waiting for 12 games. So Still waiting for 12 games. I'm still waiting for my Carry-On.
Same.
Same. I'm still waiting for Carrion, which was on one of these indie game showcases.
No wonder they gave us the digital download code.
I know.
Severely delayed. This isn't just a straight COVID delay. This is we have major problems. We need to fix this kind of delay.
All right, so we'll get back into the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, but as a side note, Cuphead. We haven't got the physical yet because we're still waiting for the DLC, and the DLC is taking a little bit longer than expected. So I looked this up like a couple of weeks ago because I was like, I didn't buy Cuphead on Switch digitally because I wanted to get the physical edition. Mm-hmm. Physical edition will be coming out as soon as the DLC is ready. The DLC is just not ready yet. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's like 2 years in the making, right? They announced it in 2019 for 2020.
Right.
And now it's delayed into 2021.
Mm-hmm. Well, the game was like 5 years in production too. Like it took a while. So
yeah. So just put as a side note, there was a weird game. They had a couple of weird games at this indie showcase.
A bunch of weird games. Yeah.
There was like some fisty flurries game where you're like
Fist-a-fluffs.
Fist-a-fluffs. It was like you're like a bunch of cats in a bakery or something.
Yeah. Well, it's a cat roller. It's a cat roller. I think this is the one from Whitehorn Digital. I think they're the ones who published it. And they do some very interesting concepts, kind of high concept or weird indie concept games. So I think it kind of fits in with their wheelhouse, right? I'm sure there's going to be like 10, 12, maybe even 20 different cats you can choose. And you just go at it. And you just start pawing each other.
So... And then there was another weird game right after that, and there was like some very, very valet, or I guess a wacky spin on, valet parking.
Right.
So
yeah,
that was kind of weird.
They've definitely done that. They've definitely done this concept before. There was a No Brakes Valet, which is a game where your brakes are cut and you have to park cars. There was Pizza Park, I think, where you're a pizza person that has to like park within cones. It's weird. It's weird. People like driving games. People like weird driving games.
I think the biggest game, in my opinion, that they announced or the most anticipated game was Cyber Shadow.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like this is a game they announced this when we saw this and you played it at PAX. Was it last PAX or the PAX before that?
2018, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
That was when they had the Shovel Knight King Knight expansion. That was kind of their thing. I'm pretty sure it was
2019. 2019.
Was it 2019?
It's 2019. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it was 2 years ago then. Yeah. Played really good at the time. It looked good. Felt good. We got to meet the composer and the creator of the game, which was super cool. Yeah,
Yacht Club Games.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Yacht Club is developing it so much as they're publishing it. They're publishing it.
Yeah. It's an independent developer. I think it's a one man. I believe it was just that one dude who was doing all the work for it. And they said, yes, this game is great. We will help you fund it and publish it. And there you go.
I think it lost a little bit of steam because we haven't seen much from it since. And The Messenger had just came out, right? Which was another Ninja Gaiden style game. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think that's why it lost a little bit of its steam. But I'm super looking forward to it. I definitely want to play this game.
I think it's going to be the first game you got to play of 2021 because it's coming out like the end of January. So it's like it's like early Christmas too.
100% limited runs doing this for E3, their E3 showcase in 2021. They're putting out a physical edition for Cyber Shadow. So.
Yep.
So I want to talk about this game called Happy Game. Do you remember this? Where it's like you're in this happy setting and you're waking up out of bed and you're in this garden happy setting. And you get all these happy monsters that are coming after you, right? Like that game looked super interesting. That was a different type of take. That was a different take on like sort of survival horror. It was like some bizarre dream world.
Yeah, I've played some of their previous games, and it's going to be a good time, right? It's kind of an adventure puzzle type thing, and then they wrap this up in the kind of horror motif. I'm with you.
We got Super Meat Boy Forever coming to the Switch December 23rd. Console launch exclusive. So Microsoft is not the only one that has a play on words.
Yep.
Right? Nintendo does the same thing.
Yep.
But the biggest just before we get into their sort of drop the mic moment, the last announcement, I just want to say, give a little bit of love to Hazel Sky, a game that I played at PAX earlier this year. Right? I was really into it. I know you weren't.
That was
I know
like
you weren't.
That was like the adventure puzzle game, right?
Yeah. Remember, you start in the lighthouse and you have to figure out how to get out of the lighthouse, and you get into this sort of makeshift airplane, and you crash into an island, and then you go around the island. Yeah, so that's coming out March 2021. Looking forward to that. I even asked him. I said, "Hey, is this going to get a physical release?" Because I like games like this, and they were a little tongue in cheek on it, right? They didn't want to say anything, they had nothing to say. But I believe this is definitely a limited run type of situation,
right?
But the biggest game, or the biggest announcement, or say their drop the mic moment, was they announced Among Us coming to the Switch. And it came out the same day.
I know. It's
not free.
It's
not free.
$5
because it's free on PC. It's free on mobile. But if you want to play it on the Switch, it costs you $5.
Yeah. I guess they have to kind of recoup their development costs. So I kind of get that. And $5 isn't that much. I kind of give it a pass. I would totally pick this up on the Switch. I'm hoping that it comes with voice chat support, because you need that in this game.
Well, Fortnite has voice chat, right? Like, developers have to do it themselves.
Right.
And I think Fortnite said that people can use their development kit, right,
to build that out. Interesting.
To build that out in their games. I think they said that a while ago.
Oh, so, wow. Okay.
It's either that or get your phone ready, get your app.
Oh my god!
Get your Nintendo app.
Or get that weird ass squid dongle Splatoon connection thing.
Listen, I have that. Okay, that thing is expensive now. It's not cheap.
Sure
I have those headphones.
It's unique.
I have those headphones. No, I mean, I like the indie. This was our last foray, right, into Nintendo, and I don't think we're going to get another direct or anything, before the end of the year. This was it. This was pretty cool. I kind of like the fact that Cyber Shadow, Hazel Sky, those were, the big announcements for me. Even though Splatoon 2, I'll be more into that when I get a physical edition.
Splatoon 2 or Spelunky 2?
So Spelunky 2. Well, we got Splatoon 2. Spelunky 2.
Yeah.
My only thing was Among Us. I didn't really care. Like, for me,
right.
They just ended it with Cyber Shadow, and I would have been like, "Oh, yeah, Cyber Shadow!" Right?
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Among Us is the new hotness, so I mean, it's a good get for them. But yeah,
it's the new Fortnite. It's the new Fortnite.
It is. It is the new Fortnite. It's the game everybody's streaming. So,
okay. All right, let's shift gears and let's talk about a time. Look back in time when gaming was a little bit more simpler. Right? We had the OG Xbox, we had the PS2. The OG Xbox was the new hotness, right? It was the new Sega. It was the new cool console on the block.
Yep.
We had the PS2 that everybody had. Your grandmother had it because she wanted to play DVDs.
Right. It was the affordable DVD player.
And then we had the GameCube, which was a unique design. Nintendo's first gaming console that didn't take cartridges. Right. And it was purple.
It was purple or black, yeah.
It was purple. But listen, it had games, right? That's the most important thing. And for some weird reason, Capcom had the Capcom 4, right? Or was it 5? 4 or 5?
Capcom 5, yeah. And
Capcom
the fifth
5.
game I don't think ever came out.
The fifth game never came out. So I was right. It was the Capcom 4, technically.
Yeah,
it was
Capcom 4. It was Resident Evil 4, Piano 3, Beautiful Joe, and one other game that I can't think of. And then the fifth one never came out.
But the director of Resident Evil 4, the reason why he included Resident Evil 4 in that Capcom 5 is because he was worried about the future of gaming and the future of Xbox and PlayStation. So that's why he wanted to put it on Nintendo exclusively. Which in retrospect makes no sense. But you're going to make the argument to me that retrospect or no retrospect, that didn't make any sense at the time either.
I would say no, because the PS2 was both a good gaming console and a DVD player involved.
True. Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let's take a look back at early 2000s.
All right.
Okay. The Xbox is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge machine, right?
Yep.
It's like it was the biggest physical console we've ever had until now with the PS5.
Right.
And it didn't sell well in Japan. Remember, Capcom's a Japanese company.
That's right.
And it didn't sell well in Japan. So nobody cared about the Xbox. And the Duke controller, we can joke about the Duke controller we want, but people rejected it in Japan, right? That's why they had to put out a new controller, the S controller.
They put out the S, specifically for small hand people, or just everybody else.
Well, as a side note, PNN 3, Beautiful Joe, Dark Phoenix, Resident Evil 4, and Killer 7.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix was the one that never came out.
Killer
7 was the one, I couldn't think of.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix was canceled in August of 2003.
Mm-hmm.
But the PlayStation, you're saying, well, what about the PlayStation? How can you be worried about Sony? Yes, they did sell. It is like the best-selling console of all time. But it's the best-selling console of all time, not because it plays games, right? Like, it was the cheapest DVD player you can have out there.
Yeah.
So let's just say, and I'm being nice. Let's say 30% of people who had a PS2
used it specifically
for
as
DVD,
a DVD player. Sure.
And not a gaming console.
It was a huge selling point. Yeah.
I know, but so from a gaming console standpoint, because your grandmother, I said earlier, your grandmother had a PS2, but your grandmother's not playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say from a strict gaming standpoint, the GameCube, is kind of attractive, right? Because the GameCube plays games. People are buying it to play games, and it had a lower install base than the Xbox and the PS2. But in Japan, it sold well, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you look at it from that standpoint, at the time, I can see where he was coming from.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. But
yeah,
I will say this. Because right after that, they had the Wii, and the Wii sold like gangbusters, but mostly people had the Wii because of its gimmick motion controls.
The Wii was unique, and everybody played either Wii Sports or they played Mario Kart, and then they just put it away in a like a box somewhere, which is why you can find it. You go to like any Goodwill, they're gonna have a stack of them.
No. Not even that. You're forgetting one thing. I remember I was dating this girl at the time, a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago, yes. And I was at her house, and she said, "Hey, you want to watch Netflix?" I said, "Sure." And she's like, "All right, I'm going to turn on my Wii."
Oh, it's right. They had the Netflix disc. Yep.
Yeah, they were the first ones to have Netflix.
That's right. Which is so weird to think about, right?
Yeah. But I will say, fanboyism aside, it's impressive what the PS4 did, right? Because the PS4 right now is the second best selling home console of all time. Mm-hmm. Strictly for games. It's just strictly for games.
Yeah.
Because the Wii was the gimmick is what sold it, but the games on it, the Wii's. When you think of the Wii, you don't think of groundbreaking games.
Sure.
You don't think of a system as groundbreaking games.
Mm-hmm.
People bought it for the gimmick. The PS2, people bought it because it was a novelty, right? Like it played DVD player. It played DVDs. A lot of people played it for its secondary function, not its primary function.
Yeah. Well, it also had FireWire hookup. Like if you could hook up your printer to it, you could do all this weird stuff with it. They had the hard drive thing and the keyboard. Maybe it was a little more computer oriented.
Yeah.
It tried to do a lot of things.
Well, I'm just saying that just brings to my point that the PS4 selling over 110 million units is that much more impressive because it sold over 110 million units to play games.
Right. Yeah, that was his primary focus. Yeah.
You don't need it to play Netflix. You don't need it to stream movies or anything. Your TV can do that. Your phone can do that. You don't need it to do it, right? So I'm just saying that's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so we go from that to a new console. Technically, we're getting 3 new consoles in 2021, right? We're getting the Amico. We're getting the Amico.
Maybe.
The Atari VCS.
Maybe.
And we're also getting a new console from SNK.
Right.
They announced that they're going to get a new Neo Geo console next year. Now, we don't know what type of games, we don't know what type of the design or anything. So my question to you is, what do you want to see from this new SNK console?
Well, I mean, if you're asking, so I think we can both agree that it's not going to be a new console, right? It's not going to be a console on the level of PS5 or Xbox. Right?
Come on, it's going to be the Neo Geo Dreamcast 2. It's going to be the team up between SNK and Sega, and they're going to come out
maybe
and try to compete. No,
maybe, but not. The most important thing to me, if Neo Geo is going to come out with like a console, is you got to have online play, because they have some of the best fighting games on there. They have really good beat 'em ups. They have games that you can either do co-op or competitive head to head. That's the thing. I want online connection. I want Wi-Fi built in, and I want an Ethernet jack on there, and I'll be good to go.
So I want an arcade stick.
Okay.
Right? I don't want what they put out 8 years ago, where it was like an arcade stick, and you can open it up, and it you can pull the guts out because it's really just a portable. Right?
Oh, so it's kind of like a Switch or a transforming Switch.
It was the Switch before the Switch was a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just give me an arcade stick that plugs into a TV that you can play online to. That's what I want.
Okay.
Just
you want
do
an
that.
arcade stick with like the little ball top and the 4 buttons, like standard array?
Yes. 6 buttons. 6 buttons. I want the 6 button. Yeah, give me that. Don't give me the Capcom one. Don't give me. Well, you know what? Come on. It's 2021. Give me something different. Don't give me the Capcom one where it's like super long because you got to have it on 3 people's laps. I don't want that.
Well, yeah.
So just give me the arcade stick, and then you can play multiplayer if someone else hooks it up too, right? You can hook it up together and then play on the TV. That's what I want.
Yeah,
I can go for that. And then we take it back to the 90s where it was pass the controller. All right, pass the controller.
Right. Do you think there's still a market for this stuff? Because we've already had like at least 3 different SNK compilation machines or like kind of systems that came out.
Yes, there will always be a market for mini or plug and play systems.
Well, specifically for SNK, I'm thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I don't want. This is what I don't want.
You think people are going to buy it?
This is what I don't want. You ready? Mm-hmm. I don't want to have 5 different arcade sticks with 5 different types of games.
Well,
that's what I don't want.
You have an SD card on there so you can sideload them.
And that's what I don't want. All right. So, well, it remains to be seen when this comes out. Right? Like, when they're going to announce this? Obviously, if it's coming out next year, this is something that they've been working on already, and they already know. They already have a design.
Yeah.
So I think this was kind of a waste of time to announce this. Just announce it when it's ready to go.
And you're not going to get any hype behind it. You got to take pre-orders, and you got to get people excited.
All right. Well, tell me later. Don't tell me now. All right. So let's shift focus. We both still don't have a PlayStation 5.
Nope.
We both tried the other day, right? We both tried it. Best Buy did it right. Best Buy, you have to click add to cart, and you put in the queue to wait for your turn to actually put it in your cart.
Right. PlayStation Store is doing the same thing too, which is definitely a step in the right direction.
But it soon may be illegal to have bots buy your things and be a scalper. Scalping may be illegal, as UK politicians call to make resale of goods purchased using automatic bots illegal in the UK. So,
so specifically, what all these Crep Cheap Notify organizations and whatever else, the bot farming, all that stuff would be punishable by law. All right, if you're found guilty.
Just like tickets, like a Ticketmaster, right? Like you can't buy 1,000 Billy Joe tickets. You gotta, if you're gonna resell it on Ticketmaster's getting a piece first off, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to disclose who you are. So you're not some Joe Schmo outside Madison Square Garden trying to pawn off Billy Joe tickets. So same thing, same concept. It would put the onus on the retailer to put parameters in place for bots not to buy, like a catch at the payment system, right? So when you're trying to buy, then you have to put like a catch that you're a real person.
Yeah, I mean, Walmart was doing that when I was trying to buy on Walmart. They were like, tell me which things are cars. And I'm like, okay. And they kept doing that.
I didn't get that experience at all.
Yeah, well, not everybody does because it's meant to pop up when it thinks there's a bot, and then it puts the challenge in its way. So I may.
That would be if they make this illegal, then that would be the difference. It's not when it thinks it's a bot. It's in general at period. Like all times when you're trying to buy it, you got to put in you're a human. And not a bot.
I mean, I think for high ticket items, they should definitely have some sort of like captcha thing, right? If you have it in your cart, it'll like bring up this thing on these particular items, right? The high end graphics cards, the new like gaming consoles, whatever the new hotness is, like you enable it for those things which you think are going to be like crazy, or there's a super high demand for it. And that'll do like some of that. I mean, they're still able to get around them. Like bots are still getting these consoles. So it's definitely complex. There's
just
a
like
lot of moving parts.
Just like PEDs, everyone's going to try to beat the system. You just have to keep updating the system.
Yeah, but I mean, it's how do you do that, right? And I guess this kind of starts
to get the best cybersecurity team in the every companies have to put money into cybersecurity teams to put these parameters in place, but these hurdles,
right,
where it makes it harder for a bot to buy it than you, because a bot can try to buy an item 100 times a second.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and as fast as the computer is, as fast as the page can load, that it can go through all the motions. I'm behind this. I think we're both behind this law. If it ends up going through in England, that'll kind of be some precedent. Maybe it'll make its way over here. Maybe somebody will put it up on the block as like a, hey, this is really a good thing. We got some precedent in Europe on this. Maybe it'll get some steam, and it'll give the retailer some more agency to be able to act in a more appropriate way to deter these bots, right? Because now you have the law behind your side, and you can say, well, okay, we don't want these consoles to be bought by bots. Here's the law, and like here's what we're going to do about it. So
hopefully they do this in time before SNK puts out their new console. I would hate to try to buy it and scalpers just have it. They corner the market on the SNK console.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this. I thought the Nintendo Game & Watch would be hotness, and it's apparently not.
I didn't think so at all.
It's apparently not. It's limited edition, and it's a classic little console. They're only putting so many out. I figured it would go through the roof.
I didn't.
Why?
I didn't. You told me, and I said no.
Why?
This is not.
Why would you not think a Nintendo limited edition old school LED throwback wouldn't sell like hotcakes?
Because nobody cares.
Well, why? I mean, nobody cared about the Nintendo Mini until it was too late.
No, but that's the
same thing.
No, it's not the same thing, because the Nintendo Mini is our generation.
Sure.
The Game & Watch is the generation before us.
It's a little bit earlier, yeah.
And they don't care. And they don't care. They don't care.
So it's the nostalgia that's really lacking in this case.
It's the Atari generation. Okay, the Atari generation. They're not as. Our generation was the first generation that has like that fandom for it, right? That deep desire to have all the games. Mm-hmm. We started this. We started this shit. We run this shit. It's our generation. The generation before us, not so much.
Not as much. Yeah, maybe that's true.
So I know when you said, you're pre-ordering it because you got it, you were thinking about pre-ordering it because you really wanted to get it, and I was like, no, you're gonna be able to get it. Trust me.
Well, yeah.
Now, GameStop was only selling one at a time, so
right.
They weren't. I couldn't buy two, but even if I could buy two, it would be. I could probably buy five. They'd probably be happy if I bought five.
I see them around. I mean, yeah, they're like in just about every store now. I didn't see them at first, but they definitely have a good stock.
All right, let's shift gears to EA. EA has done what EA always does: swoop in and snatch up studios. All right, I thought this was a done deal. 2K made a bid for Codemasters. And if you don't know who Codemasters is, they make a lot of racing games.
Sure.
The Dirt series,
sure.
Micro Machines. All right. But it looks like EA swooped in and outbid them for $1.2 billion.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. At last we heard Take-Two was in the works to buy them, and then EA said nope. Here's a bigger sum of cash.
I mean, I don't know how well the Dirt series sells, but I didn't think Codemasters would be worth like $1 billion.
Well, I mean, they have good tech. They put out good games, right? They're a pretty well established company. I mean, they've been making the Micro Machines games ever since the NES, so they've been around for a while, and they have their racing acumen is on point. I would say that.
Yeah, but now EA is cornered the market in racing games.
They have. Yeah, they have. I mean,
other than Gran Turismo and Forza.
Yeah.
Everything racing is coming out of EA now.
Right. Which is like crazy. I don't know how you feel about EA buying Codemasters, but
so EA now is the proud owner of IPs such as Dirt, the Dirt series, Project Cars.
Oh yeah,
Fast and the Furious, Grid.
Yep.
What else? F1, the F1 series.
Sure.
They have the F1 series. Onrush. Oh man, Onrush. And they have the Onrush games.
Okay.
Wow.
That is like you just named like 6 different racing franchises. That like EA now owns, which is insane.
And the only franchise that fits the EA is Fast and the Furious.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, it would have been cool to see like Take-Two buy them, because then Grand Theft Auto would have good driving physics, right? They'd be able to take some of that team and like put it into the next GTA game, because it's always kind of been a little bit floaty. Yeah, wow.
But you know what it means to me? It just means that we're going to get more microtransactions and Dirt 6 and 7. That's what it means.
Yeah, EA is definitely not shy when it comes to microtransactions. That's sure.
Well, I don't know if I trust this. I mean, EA has a history of, look at BioWare, right? Like they have a history of not doing so well, just putting out products year after year.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when they want to put out like 4 racing games in a month, right? They're going to bury at least 3 of them, right? Like they're going to put out Need for Speed, Dirt,
right.
F1, Onrush, all in the same month, right? All in a holiday season. They're going to bury them, right?
You gotta have a big scattered schedule, right? We'll put one out in the early part of the year. We'll put one out at Christmas, and then we'll shift it to the next year. That'll be the next 2 in the franchise. It'll be like Call of Duty. How they shift the teams around, right? So there's always a different team working on a different, so there's like Infinity Ward will be doing a game, and then Raven will be doing a game, and they'll all come out at different times.
All right, so basically you want like Need for Speed comes out this year. Mm-hmm. Next year is Dirt. Next year is F1.
Yeah, stagger it.
In a year, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I can see that.
That's it's the only way to prevent a Apex Legends and Anthem type situation where these are going head to head, or like a Titanfall versus Call of Duty situation where they're going head to head,
versus Battlefield.
Right, exactly. So since they're all in the same fold, like EA doesn't want to pit itself against itself if it can help it. All right.
I'm surprised Ubisoft didn't chime in and try to buy that. Right.
Right.
That would have been. What
kind
of racing games does Ubisoft have? They could have used Codemasters, and then they could have had like a racing wing to their portfolio.
Right.
So that makes sense. But again, they would have just added microtransactions, just like Ubisoft just added microtransactions to Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
Right. A month after it launched, they decided to put microtransactions in where you can buy XP boosting. So.
All right, so let's get into this. So Assassin's Creed, fan favorite franchise that has been going since 2007.
Is it?
I think.
Is it a fan favorite franchise?
People love it. I mean, they got like 29 different Assassin's Creed games. And
people love the first one. People love the first and the fourth one.
No,
Assassin's
part
Creed
2.
4.
Part 2 is the better one. Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and I know a lot of people that like the original. So part 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah, I mean one was definitely. It was groundbreaking for the time.
I mean, it was a Prince of Persia sort of knockoff spinoff.
Right.
It was supposed to be a Prince of Persia game.
Mm-hmm. So what they
Just
started
imagine
doing,
it. Imagine if it was Prince of Persia, Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, right? That's crazy, right? They would have been like a Prince of Persia.
that would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool.
They should have.
But,
They should have just. And we talked about it. They should have just stopped, and Valhalla should have just been Valhalla, right? Something
and
else.
not been an Assassin's Creed game, right? Because
And it would have been a spinoff of
right?
And it would have been a spinoff of another franchise that they would have just milked, year after year.
Right. Well, so the drama here goes kind of way back, right? It started with Unity, all right, Game 5 in the series, and they legit had stuff you would grind for. There were chests you could find in the game, and you do all this work to get to the chest, and then they say, hey, you got to buy some credits if you want to see what's inside. And that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. And then they said, okay, well, we can't do that anymore. But they still kept the microtransactions around. And then by the time it got to Origins, right, there was Syndicate had some. By the time it got to Origins, it became a problem because people realized that they artificially inflated the credits, the in-game credits, and the time and how much you needed to grind to get special things in the game, right? Different abilities or like different levels or to unlock certain things. And they're like, hey, wait a minute. Like, I noticed in the store, they have these like, get out of jail free style, like, we'll give you free XP or we'll give you an XP boost or we'll cut down the time. And then they did it again with Odyssey. And they kind of got dinged for it in the last two games. So they said, hey, let's maybe not have the XP boost in the game. Let's maybe not have the kind of gold boost options in the game. We'll keep the cosmetic and all the other kind of, I guess, like non-issue microtransaction stuff. But we're going to hold off on putting these other two in. All right. And then now a month after the game comes out, then they end up putting these microtransactions back in so you can kind of speed boost through the game. Right, I think you can kind of call it that. So like that's kind of where we're at with the story.
Listen, you know how I feel. This is a good game by all accounts. I haven't played it. You've played it, but all the reviews have said that this game is pretty good. And
pretty fun.
Any grinding is sort of fair grinding, right? Like it's not overly done like Darth Vader and Battlefront 2.
It's not Battlefield 2 and it's definitely or Battlefront 2, yeah.
So I can understand, and I can understand your trepidations, like, oh, this is bad. They put out a month later, and yes, they probably did do that, so they didn't have to get into microtransactions. But to play devil's advocate, what if they said, and I agree, the optics look bad, but what if they said, you know what, a lot of people aren't making it to the end, and we want people. Did we see the statistics and we want to make sure people get to the end? So let's put in something to help people boost so they can get a little boost so they can get to the ending, right? A little power up boost. Because older gamers like us, like me, who want to get to different games, but also want to see the ending if it's a good story, right? And Assassin's Creed games, I hate stealth, but for the most part, I've never said they had a bad story. Overall story. I said they had a weird story. It is always weird to go back in time and go to the future, but whatever. I digress. If it's something that helped me out to give me a little advantage so I don't have to sit here and grind all the time because I have other things I have to do, I would happily do it.
Right. But I think the real reason I think they left it out, and we're speculating here, but it wasn't in the game at launch, so you review the game that you have, right? You don't review the game that it should have been, Cyberpunk. You don't review the game that it could have been, also Cyberpunk. You review the game that it is. So what it has at the time is, well, it doesn't have, conspicuously these two things are left out, right? The gold boost and the XP boost. So you go, okay, and then maybe you write that in your review. It's like, hey, they had problems last time, and now they have this game like that. So I mean, I can only assume they left it out for that reason, right? To then bring it back a month later, right, and say, oh, hey, here's this little thing if you want to boost up. Not to mention that Valhalla does have very good, I guess, like like an overall game or like an exploratory slider and also a combat slider. So you can mix and match, or you can put them both down to easy. You can put the combat down to easy to get you like through the game. So I think that was great, and I think that would get you through the game, right? You know, and I think them leaving out the microtransactions personally is kind of a way to get a better review score, and then to say, hey, here's this new bit to it.
Well,
I could be
either way. The game has scored is pretty well, and you always have the option not to buy the microtransactions. So keep that in mind.
Oh, you do? Sure.
All right, let's get into our last story, and that is Nintendo World, Super Mario World is open. It's going to be open in February, right? And Universal Studios in Tokyo.
Universal
Shigeru
Studios
Miyamoto.
Tokyo? Yeah.
Miyamoto sort of did like a little grand tour. It is kind of smaller than I thought it would be. I mean, it's a little bit smaller if you look at the map.
Yeah, if you look at the
It
aerial
looked pretty
shots,
cool.
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
It looked awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's very much Disney inspired, but with the Mario aesthetic, right? And it was cool. He was kind of taking you around the world and showing you some of the rides and attractions and some of the cuisine that you can get there. And you can get this little band, right? This little like wristband thing, which like interacts with the game world. So if you walk up to like a POW block or whatever, you can hit it and it'll kind of interact with the world in a way. There's coin blocks, and you get like a coin if you have the app synced up with your thing. You can get coins to, I think, win prizes, right? So that's like kind of neat. There's a lot of integrated secrets and all that.
I would love to go into the Bowser's Castle. Like Bowser's Castle looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like that was I think that's like the big thing, to go to Bowser's Castle. That looks awesome.
Yeah, and like Miyamoto seemed generally very happy,
excited.
To be there. Yeah, he was grinning ear to ear, which was really good to see.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm disappointed that it's opening in February, right? It's something maybe we should wait until like the summer to do. But in the summer, what's the weather like in Japan? Like, when is their summer? Like Australia, their summer is our winter. So
No.
is it the same thing?
Their summer's like our summer, and it's hot, especially in the southern part, right? If you go way up to the top, it's going to be like super cold, possibly snowing. But if you go down to like Tokyo or down to like Kyoto or whatever, I think Kyoto's in the south, or like Odaiba maybe. It's very warm. Yeah, it's warm like it's warm here.
Okay,
which would probably be the better thing to do to kind of delay it a little bit, because it's
we're gonna get it in America. We're gonna get it in America too. We're gonna get it in Orlando in like 2 years, hopefully.
Yeah,
that was the original plan.
And it'll be fine when it opens there, because we'll have the vaccine. Everything will be good, and you won't have like a massive crowd of people. Probably be a little more room.
You say that, and then we get there and it's like Left 4 Dead, and then we gotta like fight through to get through all these zombies.
Yeah, I'm definitely not about that, but and I'm also not about going anytime soon. Any trips anywhere, let alone to Universal Studios in Japan to see this new Mario Park. But yeah, it does look awesome.
Okay,
I'm about it. So sometime soon, Dan, we're gonna go. We're gonna have a good time. So I think that about does it for episode 249. That is in the books, folks, and we want to thank everybody profusely for listening to the show and sticking with us and commenting and doing all the good stuff that you do. And if you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. So check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So please listen, like, rate, review, subscribe. Happy holidays. And as always,
keep gaming.